What's up, Salty family? Welcome back for another dose. Today we're going to be talking about 5 mistakes that beginners typically make in the gym and how to avoid them. Let's get in the video, man. So I get it, right? You come in the gym, you're young, you got so much energy, and you want to lift things immediately because you think you're young. I get that, right? I used to be where you used to be before. However, it is mandatory if you're going to train for a very long time, right? Because this is the journey. You have to train. Because number one, right, it prevents you from actually getting injured and sitting on the bench at home and regretting why you actually went there and not warm up. The second one, to bear in mind, it helps the muscle recover sooner. So you're right back in the game again. That's why you need to stretch, man. Next up, ego lifting. I think that's something a lot of gym goers tend to do, including myself when I first started lifting the gym as a beginner, and even people who are well advanced, because they don't have the knowledge to actually understand that you can lift a lesser weight and get your proper form down and take your time and you get more gains. I think you can just get in there and lift as heavy as you want. You're making yourself be prone to injury, coming back the next day feeling very sluggish. In my opinion, the optimal way to actually get these gains is to put your pride aside and not ego lift, right? Find a way that you're very much comfortable with. Then go ahead and lift to a failure, and that will give you a chance to have the optimal gains that you want. For the third one, bad forms. Bad forms, right? One of the reasons why I feel like a lot of people tend to not gain muscles or even have an effective workout, maybe you look at a person, you're like, the muscle look imbalanced, it's because they're not actually training properly. Training properly leads to more gains, it leads to not being injured. Injury preventions is so essential. So I'm gonna show you the proper form of 3 lifts that beginner usually starts with in the gym. How to properly do the bench press. You want to make sure that your back is pressed into the bench. Have a little bit of arch within your back. Take a deep breath into your nostril so that the volume in the chest is greater than the atmosphere outside. And then push back up. All the way back, get a full stretch, and push back to proper form. So here's the proper form for the last pull down. You want to make sure that your back, see I'm sitting straight. You want to make sure that chest is up. Right? And you want to reach as far as you can and pull down. Not immediately having this touch your chest, right? Partially gets the muscles really firing up in the back and it gives you the more gains. And something that is so essential that most people tend to forget is that you have to think in your brain that you're pulling with your back muscles. Because if you don't, what you're going to be working actually is the biceps and the forearm. Right? You might even hit the chest as well and your posterior delts. That's why it's so essential to think that you're pulling with the lats. So we're gonna be doing the chest flat here, and the proper form with this, you wanna make sure again, like every one of them, you're seated upright, chest are up, right? And hand equivalency is so important, right? Equilibrium is important. And you wanna make sure that your elbow isn't locked and you're coming and you're squeezing, right, your pec muscles. That would definitely get the major amount of pectoral muscles firing off, which would actually give you the double Ds that you see that I have here. These double Ds right here, right? Call for your mama. So for our 4th tip, we're gonna talk about avoiding legs day. It's comical because you see a person that jacked on the top, right, but they got skinny legs. People look at you here, but they also go down and they gaze on those legs. And as a bodybuilder, it's all about symmetry. The more symmetry you are, the more physique you have, and you get that 3D looking form. You don't want to look like 19/7 improper fraction. You don't want to look like that. You want to make sure you get in the gym. And I think also the benefit of actually hitting legs is that you burn more calories because you're using really big muscles, using the hamstrings, using the quadriceps, right? And you're pushing to build your glutes. And your T-bands. You don't want to stray away from not doing leg day. Try your very best to implement, as a beginner, 2 times a week. And as a person who has been in the gym for a very long time, once a week. The common mistakes that beginners tend to make, maybe even this is the most important, is comparing yourself to others. So for instance, right, when I started lifting, I would compare myself to the big guys in the gym, but we're all on our journey. It's like being on an expressway. Some people are going 35, other people are going like 75, going the speed limit. Other people are going 100. You have to stay in your lane and work your journey, right? And as you keep working on yourself consistently over a long period of time, you're going to obtain whatever gains that you're trying to get out of bodybuilding. Whether you're amateur or professional, you have to stay in your lane. And that is going to bring so much less anxiety, less depression, and making you do something that you're going to regret. For instance, take Craig Bumstead, for instance, right? Take Sam Sulek, for instance. These are really big content creator. They're professional, so they're on these gear and stuff. But a lot of people who are natural bodybuilder tend to want to speed up the fast, right? Ted Togi, for instance, he's not undertaking like different things, right? He out here promoting that stuff. And then when you take that, you don't really understand it, you're super young, for beginner, you're gonna end up hurting yourself and you regret it why you ever did that, right? So the goal here is, anything you can take away from the whole video as a beginner, number one, is to not compare yourself to others. Stay in your lane, and I promise you, whatever you want out of bodybuilding, you're gonna obtain that. Okay, guys and girls, thank you so much for watching the content. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on All Tech. Go get jacked.